Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at the new patch note from IK 2.8.4. It's a very small patch note and it contains two new features, and those features, in my opinion, looks interesting because they help a lot of people, find stuff and sharing stuff with each other. So yes, in this video I will be talking about that, and we also have immortal optimization, although only one, but it's still going to be a good one for those people that use these immortals. And there are some optimization as well that I will go through. So yeah, that being said, let's go take a look at them. So let's start with the first feature we have today is the skill details sharing. You can now share immortal active skills, Tower of Knowledge skills, and dragon skills to the chat channels. Before, we could already share immortals in the chat and also the dragons as well, but now you can share the Tower of Knowledge skill as well, which can be very helpful for a lot of people, especially those who need help with skills more than often enough. So yeah, let's take a look in the game so you can see what we have right now and what we might have in the future when it comes out. So when we are in the game, if you go on the portrait right here, if you press on one of the immortals, you can share with the chat. And when you do that, right, so you go down to the chat, you can see the immortals right here already, and it's pretty good. And you can see the active skills and artifact and stuff like that as well. So we do have that from before, but they're probably going to add something different to it. Instead of have to go all the way into the portrait for the immortals to share them, you probably have like a different interface or something like that. As well as the Tower of Knowledge. Now you can share the skills. Before you can't, as you can see here, and that's going to be a very good feature in my opinion, because now I don't have to put them on the immortals and share that with the chat in order to show people that this skill is good or not. Right now you can directly share these skills with the chat, which I'm very positive about that. As far as for the dragon skills, I think that is also good because sometimes, right, I forget the names of the dragon skills. Of course, you can share the dragons before. Like, if you take a look here and share the chat, you will see the dragon and the skills, but you won't be able to see like the different dragon skills options from the sharing. So that will be a very good feature for the game, and I'm very positive about that. So to the second feature that was added to the game, it is Alliance Internal Ranking. I don't understand why they did add this right now, because how would this be different from what we have with the server ranking stuff that we already have in the game? I guess if you want to have a look at your power, total number, or total troops number, Lord Honor and stuff, I think it's probably good because in the Alliance you only have one rankings, right? You have these ranking from the Alliance activity, tech donations, Alliance help, and so on. I think it's probably good, right? If for some people to, if you want to be competitive within your Alliance, that's probably going to be very good. But keep in mind, if you go to server rankings, right? Right now I am in the carry care map side. It's going to be a different interface, but when you are in Norheim, you have a different interface. You can see the troops number, you can see strongest STP, right? You can see Lord Hunter as well. It's basically the same as you can see right now, just a bit, apart from having towers and stuff like that. But yeah, you get my point. I don't think this would be, very useful for the older servers, but it can be a very good one for the newer servers that want to be competitive within the the server themselves, instead of having like adding something else that could be a little bit more useful. But that's my opinion about it. But yeah, let's go take a look at the new optimizations. So there is one more optimizations that I forgot during the recording, but it is about Alliance rank eligible to initiate forced impeachment change from R3 to R4. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I made a video about forced impeachment. Just for research purposes, I did impeach my R6. It was good. It was, just for fun, right? But it created a little bit problem because you can't kick people out, especially in the leadership, and you're forced to, have an elections and stuff like that. But it was just an experiment. If you guys want to see something about that, you have a video from a couple of weeks ago. You can search it up and you can see it there how it works. So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting why they would, change the rank from R3 to R4. So now all the R4s can impeach. That's gonna be a very bad thing in my opinion. But hey, we'll see what's gonna happen when it's live. So yeah, let's take a look at the balance adjustments. So there is one more optimizations that I forgot during the recording, but it is about alliance rank eligible to initiate forced impeachment change from R3 to R4. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I made a video about forced impeachment. Just for research purposes, I did impeach my R6. It was good. It was, just for fun, right? But it created a little bit problem because you can't kick people out, especially in the leadership, and you're forced to, have an elections and stuff like that. But it was just an experiment. If you guys want to see something about that, you have a video from a couple of weeks ago. You can search it up and you can see it there how it works. So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting why they would, change the rank from R3 to R4. So now all the R4s can impeach. That's gonna be a very bad thing in my opinion. But hey, we'll see what's gonna happen when it's live. So yeah, let's take a look at the balance adjustments. So to the last part of the patch, we have balance adjustment. Ninetale is getting adjusted both skills and artifact, and from before we see the Ninetale skills removes bite, serious wound and damage over time effect from all allies and increase trigger chance of an ally trigger type skills by 10% when she's maxed out. That part, or the trigger type part, is going to be a passive right now, which in my opinion I'm very positive about that because I believe, always believe that Ninetales has to proc her ultimate before that trigger type skills chance being, active. But now that is being a passive and you can get that extra 10% from the get-go, which I think can be a very, very, very good thing for a lot of the people that use, archers or mage backline with a trigger skill type. So let's take a look in game how she is right now. So right now she just have everything all together after the ultimate procs, but afterwards these trigger chance skills or increased trigger chances, they are being separated to passive so they can basically proc from the get-go instead of having to wait for her maybe 6 seconds, right? I think it's around 5 or 6 seconds with energy regen being 150 or something. So instead of having to wait for 6 seconds before you can proc that, now you get that from the get-go. So it will definitely benefiting for people that use mages, for example, like you see here with infinite firepower. And if you use archers, you're probably using, for example, time to shine, right? These kind of skills. I don't know if that skill is trigger skills, but for example, you have the executioner. No, that's passive. So no, sniper. Sniper is like a good example because that is trigger skills. You have a 55% chance to cause physical damage. That will instantly increase to 65% from the get-go. So of course you can use other skills, but I think it's going to be very good. It can be used for frontline as well if you use frontline trigger skills, and if you use defensive skills like, for example, the no escape, right? That is trigger skills that already have 90% chance from the get-go. Now you have 100% chance that can be very good for your team. So that is very good for Ninetales. So now that can be a very good thing to add to your team, and possibly it will make a small change to the meta as well as an additional variation to that. And as you can see here, the active part is basically the rest of the skill, or the one that we used to have before, but they just changed only the trigger chance part to become passive. As for the artifact, the Phantom Pack increases healing effect by 30%. That's going to be really interesting to see because her current healing when it's maxed out is 230, and the current artifact passive attributes is currently the adding extra 5% chance to trigger allies skills, right? So right now I think the current one is still going to be better than the the change, the adjustments, because when you can add it basically 5% extra, that can be, instead of having 65% to 75%, now you can go all the way to 80%. But the game identified that thing and they changed the healing instead. So I guess Ninetales is going to be more of healing immortals now, so she can heal more, which I don't mind at all because I don't use her, but I'm definitely gonna test her out when the patch is live, so you guys can see it as well. So yeah, that's basically it for this patch video. It's a bit short when it comes to immortal adjustment and stuff, but the other stuff, for example, new features and optimizations seems interesting. But to be fair, all in all, not too much. So hopefully next time they're gonna be doing more balanced adjustment for immortals, even though some immortals we don't use before, it might be a really good thing to add them back into the game so they become meta or near meta, right? So we have more variations to our matches, and I believe a lot of the people want to have more options as well. So yeah, that's basically for this video. Thanks you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.